Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're gonna read some interesting story, and this one gonna be really engaging. So, a smile in the shadows. Jax Monroe arrived in Crestview City like a ripple before a tidal wave, quiet, almost unnoticed. He rented a modest office on the 14th floor of an aging high-rise. To the outside world, he was a consultant with big ideas. To those who met him privately, well, it was as if the air itself bent to his will. When Marfield's an earnest non-profit director first shook his hand, she felt something odd, like she exhaled without realizing it. I read your white paper on community outreach, she said, hopeful. Jack's grin widened. Glad to have impressed you, he replied, voice silk over steel. But what really matters is how we make your numbers sing. Within weeks' donation to Mara's cause soared, yet somewhere quietly small grants were rerouted. Key volunteers redirected to Jax's side gigs. Everyone thought they were winning, except the non-profit, which by year's end was like a gasping for air. The doctor's prescription. Dr. Elena Cross, a rising psychologist, felt flattered when Jax requested her counsel for himself. He insisted. Their sessions began innocently. I struggled with focus, he'd lament. Elena handed him exercise. He practiced them once. Then he charmed her into investing in her own research firm to test therapeutic models in the wild. One evening, as the sun deep behind Midtown spires, Yelena confessed over a glass of wine, "You are the first client I ever invested in." Jackson's eyes glinted. "And you will be the last one I need," he said softly, "because you will own half of my next venture." She realized too late that her bank account had funded a shell company, and Jax had slipped away with investors she trusted. The Boardroom Ballet. In a sleek boardroom with floor-to-ceiling windows, Jax pitched a revolutionary analytics like a platform to Crestview Technologies. Board, chart gleamed, buzzword flew. He leaned forward, voice low. "Your legacy depends on this pivot. Don't be the company that watched change happen while clinging to outdated relics." Afterward, CFO Greg Sanders approached him. "How can I trust the numbers?" Jack smiled, the shark's smile now familiar. "Because I wrote the model. You can audit later once profits roll in." They did audit after signing billion-dollar contracts. By then, Jax had already ghosted Crestview Tech, leaving behind thousands of unusable lines of code and stock price that created overnight. The dinner party gambit. At an exclusive fundraiser, Jax laughed with politicians and celebrities. He dropped names like breadcrumbs. Saw Senator Whitman yesterday, even though the senator was in another city. Hollywood insiders tell me no insiders exist. Yet nobody checked. They were too busy they were too busy raising their wine glasses. Journalist Priya Kapoor cornered him between horse divorce trays. Your resume says you founded 3 startups, only one exists. Jax winked. Isn't life just like a one big startup? We all pitching ourselves, right? Pierre published an expose next week. By then, Jax's handlers had already arranged another gala across the country. The piece went viral, but by then the currency was attention, and Jax traded it for even more opportunities. The mentor's downfall. Young coder Tanya Lee looked up to Jax as a mentor. She poured her heart into late night debugging sessions and prototype presentations. When her small seed round investors balked, Jax whispered, I got contacts in Silicon Valley. Let me front the capital. He wired her the funds, but in his name, not hers. Makes it simpler, he said. We will consolidate ownership. Desperate, she agreed. Months later, Tanya discovered her own startup's IP had been reassigned to Jack's parent company. She confronted him via video call. She pleaded. He shrugged. Business is about survival, kid. I gave you a path. You choose to walk it. Then he clicked end call. So, next scene, the moment of truth. One rainy evening, Jax stood on a rooftop terrace overlooking Crestview skyline. His phone buzzed. Another invitation, another board meeting. He popped it. He would grow on board. He collected fortunes, reputations, and broken dreams. Behind him, footsteps. Mara, Leda, Greg, Priya, Tanya. They stepped out of the shadows, eyes blazing. Game over, Monroe, Mara said. Elenis held stacks of legal filings. Priya filmed them live. Greg produced brokers ready to freeze assets. Tanya demanded her code back. For the first time, Jax's grin faltered. He, turned, leaning on the railing. You don't understand, he said quietly. I'm not the villain here. You're all pawns, still playing on my board. Helena stepped forward. Not anymore. So, epilogue. Jax's empire and revealed over headlines, lawsuit, and whistleblowers' testimonials. Yet the question lingers, was he evil or just the product of a world that rewards smooth talk over substance? In the end, maybe what's most disturbing is how many times he got away with it before finally tripping on his own reflection. So, thank you for listening, and if you want to listen more this kind of interesting stories, subscribe this channel, and see you next time.